Look at our fence.
Paul. It was a lot of work tearing down that fence. A lot of work, especially getting out those railroad ties. But I guess now the real work begins because putting it in is a big job. So digging a railroad tie post hole is very tricky because we don't want to disturb very much of the soil around it because we don't want the post to get loose over time. So I'm taking the width of our shovel here and prying up as much as I can this way and then around the corners and twisting it the length of the shovel. And that's the perfect size for the railroad tie. Then what we'll end up doing, and we'll show this later, but we'll get some quick drying concrete and we'll pour it around. Just, it probably isn't needed to keep it in place, but we're hoping that will help prevent the ties from decomposing in the dirt. Kind of secure the wood a little bit more.
What did you guys find in there, you guys?
Salamander.
Little salamander, gecko thing. I honestly don't know the difference.
Yeah, look at it.
So in our post hole that we dug, I don't know, a couple weeks ago for these posts, a little salamander gecko guy in there.
Can I pet it with my hands? It looks gross. It's actually pretty hard. You can hardly feel it.
Reagan, do you want to touch it?
Is it hard?
You don't want to?
No, it looks like a snake. Oh, it's hard. Hard? No. Yeah, it's hard. The skin is hard.
Where should we put it, Dad?
I want to keep
In a
it.
cage.
No, let's go put it over by the slough.
In one of our, where Dad and Mom lived when we were first married, in our window well, we have like 8 of these little buddies hanging out with us. In the basement.
How'd you feed them? Did you feed them?
No.
They
Took
just
care of
died?
themselves.
Wait, do they
They
eat
eventually
bugs?
did.
Do they eat bugs?
They probably got out of there.
No! Salamander. Hey, rude, Mom. Okay, let's go put it by the slough. It's probably where it's home is, right?
Just-
No, I'm not touching it.
It's taken us many weeks to dig all of the post holes that we need for the railroad ties. There's a railroad probably about every 8 or 9 feet or so. Put some buckets here so the kids don't step into them.
Here, showing the part.
So this board has a pretty bad split. We're gonna clamp it together and then put some screws in to strengthen it so we can still use it.
And these are the screws that we're gonna use.
Yeah. We're gonna finish off the 3rd row on the front side before we do any more on this end. Jackson isn't helping us because he's out moving like this. There he is, way out there.
No, he's not way out there.
We finally got it done after a couple months. Kind of hard to do when you're working full-time as parents, but we got our fence done, and we're really hoping it helps keep the moose, the deer, and all the other creatures from eating all of our produce. So here we go. We've left enough space on this side to let the chicken run come through to help keep the weeds from kind of leaching into the garden. We'll have a gate right here, and it goes the whole width. On the back side we have a barbed wire fence that we're gonna work on, but eventually we're gonna have a little gate thing here too. So this is the gate from my childhood farm, so coming out here and seeing it just brings back a lot of memories and has a lot of cool character and a lot of work, but totally worth it, at least in my opinion. Don would probably say otherwise. We're here at the farm I grew up on. My dad passed away a few years ago, and so slowly we are kind of transitioning things out. We want to take this fencing here along the corral, and we're going to put our new homestead over by our house for our garden.
All right, what did this used to be over here?
Milk them in there, but then they would come out here during the day, and if you ever had to load them up to take them to butcher or anything like that, he'd back up the horse trailer to here. I mean the cow, what is that called?
The truck with the cattle rack in it.
Yeah, the cattle rack. Anyways, he'd back up to here and load them up through this. And then this is here because there used to be one here too, and that was where our dog used to live. That was his dog house.
Underneath there?
Yeah. Dad really was good at optimizing space, using it for a lot of different things.
Multi-purpose.
Yeah, multi-purpose for sure.
Let's show in here in the milking area.
So I have a lot of memories of coming out with my dad to milk cows. Alright, so my dad would go out through here and bring the cows in, the heifers. Bring them in through here.
The milk cows.
And yeah, the milk cows. And he'd have hay sitting in here, so they would stick their head in there. And he would use this to tighten it up around their head. And this is where we'd milk the cow. This is here because sometimes their tails would get in the way. So every once in a while we'd have to hold it up like this so it would stay out of the way. And then over here is where we would keep the little calves that we had, and while we milked they would stay behind here, and then when he was done milking whatever he wanted for us, he would just slide there's too much stuff.
It's been there for a while.
Yeah, he would slide the pallet over and they would come out, and one would go to each side and nurse, and then we'd put them back in and then let the mama out. So old and definitely not up to code.
Definitely pretty awesome wiring system he's got here.
Yeah.
The power is turned off to these now, but anyways.
This is where he'd have the hookup for the electric fence that he'd put up.
Yeah.
So.
Anyways, kind of fun memories, huh, Kels?
Yeah. Alright, so this tree here, right here by the barn, is a Russian olive tree. For those that are familiar, they create like this ball of, I don't even know what it is exactly.
Like a seed?
Yeah, a seed of some sort. And as kids, we would just pick a ton and put them in our shirt. And we would hop up on top of the roof. And you can see that we have like the old tin with the rivets. And so we would each pick like a little rivet, and we would sit up there and we would race our little olives down the track to see who could win the fastest.
Fun. Was it your twin siblings that made the fort over here? Kind of treehouse thing?
On that. I remember working on that. I don't know who started it, but...
And they've got the root cellar back behind here that the kids dug out by hand with their dad, right?
Yeah, that was a lot of work by shovels.
Yep. Look how good you turned out. Little bit.
But I forgot to hide my hand.
Nice. Little bit of good shoveling turns out makes good kids, right?
Yes, absolutely. Right, Jackson?